Here's the ultimate real estate investing guide for beginners. I'm gonna talk about three things. One, I'm gonna talk about, first, before you buy any real estate, you gotta have a roadmap to know, hey, if you're gonna start here, what's the end game where we're going? So you gotta be clear on that. Then I'm gonna talk about what type of product you need to buy and what location, so make sure it cash flow right. And then third, I'm gonna give you a real life example of one of my students. Her name is Jenny from Boston, and she did exactly what I'm telling you in this video. And she just bought her first property, you guys, for very little money down. And you'd be surprised what she does for a living. So you guys ready to do this? Let's talk about it. Let's go. The first thing you gotta know when you start investing in real estate, you gotta know where you're going and you gotta know why you're going there. That's just anything in life. I call this map the road map to wealth. This is the map that I have been on since I started real estate in 1991. So you take a look at it, it's been over 30 plus years I've been on this road. And this road right here is something that basically I walked and I lived through this for over 30 years. And I can explain it to you in more personal, because I've been on this path, and what's crazy is I'm still on this path now. Most people have never even gone on this path. They never got to what I call the end of this map, called freedom, option, and choice. So I wrote down here on the end, okay? What does freedom, option, and wealth mean to you? So you gotta think about that. What does it mean? What does wealth and freedom and option and choice mean to you? Because if you don't know why you want to go to California, for example, why would you want to get in your car and drive like Seattle to California? It's like 25-hour drive. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs, a lot of different heat, the weather changes, right? And you might get a flat tire going there, and you got to willing to get out and fix the car so you keep going. It's the same thing. That's why the roadmap, you notice, is up and down, up and down. It's not an easy, smooth, straight ride. So what does freedom and wealth mean to you? Why do you want freedom? What's important about having freedom? What's important about having option? What's important about having choice? You have to know that, folks. If you don't know that, you're not gonna do what it takes to go through this roadmap, because there's gonna be a lot of ups and down, up and down, up and down, to get to owning a rental property, bought and paid off, so that you could have freedom later on down the road. When I was on this journey and someone asked me, right, what does freedom mean? Why do you want to have passive income? And I said, because I want to have enough passive income so that later on, actually, I don't have to work. If I choose to work, I can work. And then my mentor said to me, okay, great. Ultimately, if you didn't have to work and you had enough passive income, what would that really mean to you? And when I thought about it, I said, if I set myself up early, and when I have kids later on, I really want to be at my kids' baseball matches, soccer matches, taking them on vacation, and I don't have to worry about coming back right away. If my kids' baseball tournament is somewhere out of state, we can hop on a plane, right? And I can take off work for a week and go and watch them go play baseball or soccer outside, anywhere. I can do it anytime I feel like it, on the fly. And on top of that, I want to be able to have the freedom and the option where I can send my mom back to Vietnam to go visit her mom when her mom is still alive, which is my grandma, and go there every year she wants to. She can stay as long as she wants, and I have enough money so she can actually go do that. Well, my mom been doing that, you guys, for years. And last year, my grandmother died at 99 years old. My mom didn't have no regrets, because she'd been visiting her mom, all her sister, and all my cousin over there every year, easy, for the last probably 20 years. She wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for me actually doing the work and getting it ready so that one day my mom could do all that stuff. Today, since my grandma passed away, now I have the option of freedom to send my aunt over to the United States now, and my aunt come to the US now twice a year to go hang out with my mom. Last year was her first year coming to the United States, and you guys should have seen her when she landed at the airport. She was just in tears. And she spent almost a month twice in Seattle. That's the thing, you guys, that make me just emotionally hooked. And that's why it motivates me to keep doing what I'm doing, because I want to have the option to do that anytime. So I want you guys to think about the same thing, okay? Now, once you're clear on that, if you look at the map, it says, in order for you to have freedom, option, and choice, you gotta have some property paid off, okay? That's the step before that. In order for you to have property that's paid off, the step right before that, you have to accumulate the number of property you need so that later on you can pay them off, you can have the passive income you need. Now, in order for you to have the property you need, you gotta have some kind of money to buy real estate. And in order for you to have some money, if you notice a step before that, is you gotta actually put some work in. What type of work? The knowledge you need to know to buy. And today, I'm gonna show you, if you're a first-time investor, what is the most simple knowledge you can do, okay, so you can buy your first property. I'm gonna give you this example. Let's say I asked you, how much passive income do you wanna have every month to live comfortably if you were debt-free? I'm gonna give you a hint. You don't need $100,000 a month. Just ask yourself this, what does it cost you to live right now? Let's say it costs you $10,000 a month. Let's say that you work and you're gonna pay off all your bills. Now you're debt-free, but let's say you actually have $10,000 a month in passive income. And let's say that was the number you said, if I had the choice, right? What's my perfect number, right? That I can actually be out of the rat race, that my passive income is paying for any expenses I need. And let's say the number is $10,000 a month. Let's say the average rent in your area is $3,000. You're gonna need probably 3 to 4 houses accumulated and paid off for you can have $9,000 to $12,000 a month for the rest of your life. If you had $12,000 a month and you're debt free, you didn't have to work, you live in a good life. That's just starting out. If you want to do more, you can. But I need to know what's the end game. So the end game for you should be, how much passive income do you need to have every month or want to have every month to live comfortably if you're debt free? And number 2, what does freedom mean to you? And ultimately, why do you want to have freedom, option and choice, and wealth? I want you to think about the number and why. Because once you understand this, then it's easy for me now to teach you the knowledge. Then you take the knowledge, you put it in action, and you go make some money. You make some money, you buy the property you need, you get enough property, you pay it off, and then you're gonna have freedom of choice. This is the roadmap to wealth. And even a beginner can walk this journey, okay? And when you're advanced, you can just scale up on the same map and just go faster. And this is why it's so beautiful that before you start investing, you gotta understand this roadmap to wealth. Now you know how many property you need to get to $10,000 a month roughly. Let's say that's your goal and your number, and you know why you want it. Now I wanna talk about what to buy and where to buy if you're a first-time beginner, investor, okay? Let's talk about location first, because that's the most important. You hear me say this 100 times. When you invest in real estate, you gotta know the 4 market, A, B, C, D. A market is the high-end market, D market is the rough neighborhood, okay? And then B's and C's are where you wanna actually buy rental, okay? You can flip houses in any market, A, B, C, D. You can wholesale in any market, A, B, C, D. But if you ever wanna buy rental, you wanna stay in the B's and C because the price point and the rent is very, close to balance, okay? Not like the A market where the price is high and you can't get enough rent to actually try to balance this, the teeter-totter out. Make sense, you guys? So, first thing is, you gotta look for the B's and the C in your area. Once you understand where the B's and C is, now the second thing you gotta know is what type of product. If you are a first-time investor, here's what I'm gonna recommend, okay? Especially if you don't own any property. You wanna actually buy either a single family, a duplex, a triplex, or up to a fourplex. And the reason why is this. You could actually buy your first property with 5% down conventional now. So if you don't own any property at all, don't go out there and talk to a lender you want to buy an investment property. Go talk to a lender you want to buy a property where you're going to live in the property, okay? Your intention is to live in the property, and if you're willing to do that, you can put down 5% of a single family up to a 4-unit. That's the product you want to buy for a first-time home buyer / investor. And I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Once you actually find the property and you buy it, and once it closes, you can choose to actually live in it. But if you happen to change your intention after you buy it, stay where you're at and you can rent the whole thing out. It's not illegal, okay? Because your intention when you originally bought was to live in it. But by the time you close, if your intention change, just stay where you're at, okay? And then just keep all 3-unit or 4-unit, right? Rent it and just make cash flow on it. So now I'm gonna give you a real live example of a student that I mentor in Boston. Her name is Jenny Quang, okay? I wanna give you this real example because you guys can relate to this story because she is a first-time investor, first-time buyer, and she did exactly what I just told you. use her first time opportunity to buy something with low down payment. So I'm gonna basically tell you the whole entire story, right? How she got the property, what she bought, and the number, everything, okay? So here we go. She lived in Boston. Everybody say, oh my God, Boston's so expensive, so expensive. And it's true, okay? If you're in the heart of Boston, it's expensive, okay? She didn't buy in the heart of Boston. She actually bought something that is about 30 minutes away from Boston. And anyone in Boston, I don't remember the area, okay? But 30 minutes away from Boston, she found a 3-unit for $565,000, okay? Yes, a 3-unit for $565,000. She found it through a wholesaler. It was an off-market deal, okay? This is why it's important for everyone listening. If you wanna find deals, you gotta go build a lot of relationship with a lot of different people. Who do you build a relationship with? All the realtors in your area, because a lot of times they have homes that need work that they can actually, willing to sell the property off market before they list the property. You also want to go build a relationship with bankers, wholesalers, other investors, and tell them what you're looking for, okay? So that way they can think of you when they basically have a property. So she bought this property at $565,000. Now, she put down 10%, not 5%, but 10. But I'm gonna run the number and show you the difference between 5% and 10%. So 10%, her all-in closing cost is about $60,000. Now I want you to know something, okay? She's not rich at all. She's a social worker. She don't make a lot of money. So she had to save up a little bit to get her $60,000. If she can do it in Boston, you ain't got no excuses, okay? She put down $60,000 and she went and got a loan. Her loan interest is 5.25. Her monthly payment, just so you know, principal, interest, all in, $22,808. So $2,800, okay? All in, $2,800. She rent the property out. Her unit number 1, $1,800, unit number 2, $1,800, unit number 3, $1,100. She get $4,700. All in is $3,700, and then her rent is $4,700. So she basically make $1,000 a month, every single month, positive cash flow from $60,000, which is 10% down. But that's 10%. I don't have 10%. What if it's 5%? Let me show you the difference between 5% and 10%. Okay, so 5%. Well, if it's 10%, it was all in down payment, closing cost. If it was $60,000 for her, so 5% would be $30,000. So all you gotta do is come up with $30,000 on a $565,000. She chose to put in 10 because she had a little bit extra money. The difference between a 5% down and a 10% down in monthly payment is $156 a month. So if she was making $1,000 a month in positive cash flow, now she's making $844 a month in cash flow if it was only 5% down versus 10% down, which don't suck, okay? So she doesn't even live at the property. She actually bought the property, was intending to live there, and she changed her mind when they closed. She stayed somewhere else, okay? And she rent all 3 units out. She make $1,000 a month, you guys, every single month with 60 grand for her. But for you guys, you put down 5%, you still making money. You see the moral of this here? This is called being creative. If you're the first time buying, put 5% or 10%, okay? Now, let me tell you what Jenny's doing. This property recently closed, is all rented out now, okay? She's going to continue every year to raise the rent. So she's gonna make more passive income. When the interest rate drop even lower, she's gonna refinance the property, get a lower rate, so that her cash flow even get more than $1,000. At the same time, right now, she's starting wholesaling now. She still works her 9 to 5 as a social worker. She started the wholesale on the side, which is her side hustle, and making more money. Because the next time she do this, she's gonna try to raise 5%, which is 30 grand. Let's say she does the same thing. She's trying to get $30,000, you guys, so that she can actually repeat the process. Because the next time she buy this property, she can go in and go, you know what? I'm buying this as a primary residence. I changed my mind on that. That's the return rental. I want to buy a primary resident. Now, if you're gonna buy another primary resident, it has to be at least $565 and a little more expensive, or going from a C neighborhood to a B neighborhood, because the bank would think, okay, she's upgrading, which is fine. Your intention is you're gonna go in and you buy it. If the day you close and you change your intention and you stay where you're at again, you can rent all 3 units out again. Jenny wants $10,000 a month in passive income. So really right now, her gross rent is almost 5 grand, it's $4,700, right? She only needs 2 triplex to get $10,000 a month. If she chooses to stop and just start paying down and make extra payment every month on the building, she can have 10 grand a month for the rest of her life. So you see, how Jenny did it. Anybody can do this. And she's a first-time buyer/investor. This is exactly what I'll tell you if you are just like Jenny. Go do this formula right here, and I promise you, okay, you do this a few times, you own a lot of property, a lot of door with very little money down, and it's not illegal whatsoever, okay? So, you guys, if Jenny can do it, you can do it, all right? So, that's a wrap. If y'all like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have any question what I just explained to you this whole time, comment in the comment section, let me know, okay? And you guys, we want to hit 1 million subscribers before the year is up. Do me a favor, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button for us, okay? And until then, you guys, we'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.